To be honest with you, I got a little bit bored with Zwift already, so decided to get up early this morning, earlier than I needed to actually, to try and beat the dog walkers and stuff up here for a bit of a cyclocross ride, just to get out really. It's too icy out on the roads to really ride the road bike out, so Zwift it is, but God yeah, I just need to get outside and turn the pedals a bit. I don't think I'll be out for very long. Maybe 3 or 4 kilometers really of just playing around the mud. I've never been any good at cyclocross. I managed to achieve 2 last places, a second to last and a third from last in all 4 races that I've done, but I really do enjoy cyclocross. My main problem is riding in the mud. I'm very sketchy in that. I've never really been anything like a mountain biker or an off-roader, so a little bit of practice on that today, have a bit of fun, just turn the legs over, but get outside more than anything. Let's just talk a little bit about this thing and this thing, the turbo trainer and the indoor setup. Now I know I've tried to make this as an interesting an environment as I can for me, you know, with the rocker plate down here where it kind of moves the bike so that I'm not sat on a solid trainer, and got my pictures up here, favourite time trialists, Wiggins and Roche and Boardman and Miller, and they're there to occupy me. And I know it's a bit of a mess around here at the minute. I've just got boxes of stuff because it's been Christmas, but I do have a bit of an issue with turbo training in general. I've never really liked it, even back in the sort of early 90s when we used to use something called a fan trainer. Before that I didn't used to use anything, and then we had this thing called a fan trainer, which was just much like a turbo trainer these days, but just with a fan block on it. It was incredibly noisy and just pretty grim. I used to hate riding on it and would put, you know, it off as much as I possibly could because it was just horrible and noisy. I used to sit in my mum's kitchen with it blaring away and trying to avoid doing it as much as I could. And really, you know, for me, bike riding has always been about escapism, getting out on the road, getting away from normal life, exploring, all those things you fall in love with as a kid. And there couldn't be anything less related to that than a setup like this. And I guess with lockdown and everything else that's been going on, and particularly at the minute with really bad weather, in terms of not so much bad weather but really icy, sort of dangerous conditions, the last thing I want to do is come off and break my collarbone or my wrist or something. So it's become a means to an end, and it always will be. But I do see people online that really, you know, they love Zwifting, they love the whole thing. It's just not for me in that regard. However, this is something I need to learn more about. I've been talking to a few people about Zwift in general, and it would appear that the problem mainly with this is that I don't really know enough about how it all works. So that's going to be a major thing for me to have a look at, try and get involved in some races, work out how to plan my own sessions on it, all that kind of stuff. At the minute, all I'm doing is just like hopping on, hitting a button on the iPad until I end up in one of the worlds and then going off. My brother's pretty good at kind of getting his head around all that stuff, going up out the Zwift, out the Watopia, whatever you see. I don't even know the names of these things. So there's a lot to learn in that regard, but that's going to be one of the things I'll try and do, because this has become a means to an end for sure. And hopefully I can kind of grow to love it, maybe just a touch, but at the minute it's not my favourite place to be. I'd rather be out and about. But I think what I'll do is temper that in the really bad weather when I can't get out on the road on my road bike, is to make sure that I go out on my cross bike like I did earlier this week, because I really enjoyed that. And it is a good workout, even though you only do, what did I do? I think I did just over 6 kilometres out on the cross bike this week. And it is a good workout, really kind of varied terrain, great for bike handling. I always tell people that have spent the entire winter on a turbo trainer when it comes to race season, because their bike handling sucks. So if I can keep a good balance of that, then that might be all right. But at the minute, this is just a means to an end, as it always has been for me. Let's see if I can fall in love with turbo training. It'll be an interesting experiment. We'll see how we get on. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscription button and also the notifications bell below. That way, every Monday when I put these videos out, they'll be sent directly to you, and also all the extra videos that I put out in the meantime. And so 4 days ago, I released the details on the stage plan and the Just Giving page for the Breast Cancer Unit Support Trust based at Southmead Hospital. I just wanted to say a relatively quick thank you to everybody that sent messages of support, donated money, signed up as corporate sponsors, signed up as teammates. If you haven't watched that video, watch it. I'll put the link up here. It explains in an awful lot more detail what we're doing, or what I'm doing really, but what the people that are coming with me to do are going to be doing. And one of the unexpected bonuses of this is that a lot of people actually have signed up to coming and doing a stage and have messaged me to say that they are going to use this as an impetus to get out on the bike and to train and to get fit enough to come and do one of these stages with me, which is really exciting. And I feel a bit honoured to be part of that journey for them as well, it's a journey for everybody involved in this, as this whole last year has been for everyone. So I just wanted to say a massive heartfelt thank you to everybody that's kind of signed up for that so far. We've already hit the £1,000 mark. The page has been live for 4 days, and the target is to get £5,000, so we're already 1/5 of the way, and if my mathematics is right, I'm dreadful at maths. And so I wanted to say a few thank yous to the people that have signed up for it already personally on the video. If you bear with me, I'm going to have to look on my phone because there's quite a few people to try and remember here. So let's have a look. So stage 1 is being sponsored by Nick Davies, and he's also sponsoring stage 21 as well. Nick Davies runs a company called the Courtney Group, and he's also offered a huge amount of support in regard to reaching out to other companies, but also driving van support for the stages in Brecon. So Nick, I can't say a massive thank you enough really for that one. And then on stage 5, we've got Jenny Campbell-Ritchie, who's joining me for that stage. Who else have we got here? Thank you, Jenny. Stage 7, Anna Scott is coming to join me on that, so thanks, Anna. It's also being sponsored by my friend Gareth Jones, who runs the Monmouth Dental Practice. Gareth was a friend of mine and Tristan's, and that stage is in memory of him. It's the longest stage that we've got running. Then stage 12, Nadia Callahan, thank you for joining me on that one. Stage 15, Dave Rostron, who came with me last year and rode a couple of stages, rode one stage with me last year. And then at the moment, I've got my father-in-law, Rod, who's obviously coming to join me on stage 21, which is the final stage into Bristol. He's also offered to come and join me on any other ones. There was one other person that I want to say thank you to, and that's Zara Davies, who runs a company called Walnut Grove. They very kindly offered to supply me with one massage session, one kind of osteopath session a month until I start the Grand Tour. So that's really kind of them to supply that. That's going to really help me out with all the training that's going on. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is only brief, because I actually kind of want to make a longer video about this, but it's this idea that now I've just got to get on with it. All the planning and everything I've been doing for the last God knows how many months since I came up with this, I have been doing a little bit of training, but a lot of effort's gone into planning these stages and GPS mapping them and creating the Just Giving page and loads of logistics, loads of planning. And actually now the only thing really left to do is to manage the contributions and the donations coming in, but to get on the bike and train. And launching the page has been a massive instigator in that. I felt driven, I felt motivated by it, possibly somewhat externally motivated, because obviously now there's people signing up to this, it's out in the public domain, there are people sharing it, and Bust, the actual charity themselves, have been in contact and have and offered their support, and they're going to spread the word on that too. So it's suddenly become very real, and the enormity of the challenge is dawning on me, that I'm going to have to get on with this. I'm obviously not starting at zero. I am sort of dormantly fit, and I need to reawaken that a little bit. Obviously, primary thing is getting the weight down. Me and Bex have both got a really good healthy eating plan in place now that we're going to stick to, and I've just got to get the miles in. As I said earlier, some of that's going to be on Zwift sadly, but I'm going to make sure once a week I get the cross bike fired up until the weather improves and I can get the bike miles in. So for that reason, really, I think that's the end of the video. I've warbled on enough, but thank you so much to everybody that signed up, sent messages of support, encouraging me to train and training themselves, which is super cool. Those of you that are going to sign up in the next week or so, thank you in advance for that. Can't wait to see those names pop up and add them to the list of teammates. So there we are, first week of January, and off we go. Everyone's back into the swing of things, and let's make 2021 a really positive, healthy, moving forward, progressive and predictable year to be moving into. Have a lovely 2021. Here's the first week out, and I'll see you on the next video.